I stand here humbled, and I'm overwhelmed with gratitude to say I officially accept your nomination to be Vice President of the United States of America.
39-year-old J.D. Vance formally accepted the Republican vice presidential nomination in his first speech as Donald Trump's running mate. Vance addressed delegates on the third night of the Republican National Convention and pitched the Republican Party as a champion of the working-class American and denounced Democrats as out of touch and ineffective. Vance hailed Trump as the successful businessman who chose the path of persecution for the love of his country.
For the last 8 years, President Trump has given everything he has to fight for the people of our country. He didn't need politics, but the country needed him. Did it? Now, prior to running for president, he was one of the most successful businessmen in the world. He had everything anyone could ever want in a life. And yet, instead of choosing the easy path, he chose to endure abuse, slander, and persecution. And he did it because he loves this country.
He applauded Trump's reaction after surviving an assassination attempt in Pennsylvania.
I want all Americans to go and watch the video of a would-be assassin coming a quarter of an inch from taking his life. Consider the lies they told you about Donald Trump, and then look at that photo of him defiant, fist in the air, when Donald Trump rose to his feet in that Pennsylvania field. All of America stood with him.
And he said that Trump is the only person who can fight for forgotten Americans and restore the country to its lost glory.
President Trump represents America's last best hope to restore what, if lost, may never be found again. A country where a working-class boy born far from the halls of power can stand on this stage as the next vice president of the United States of America.
Vance argued that Joe Biden and Democrats have abandoned small-town America.
Joe Biden has been a politician in Washington for longer than I've been alive. 39 years old. Kamala Harris is not much further behind. For half a century, he's been the champion of every major policy initiative to make America weaker and poorer. And in 4 short years, Donald Trump reversed decades of betrayals inflicted by Joe Biden and the rest of the corrupt Washington insiders.
He told the energized crowd that people who govern the country have failed time and time again.
From Iraq to Afghanistan, from the financial crisis to the Great Recession, from open borders to stagnating wages, the people who govern this country have failed and failed again.
As the best-selling author of the memoir Hillbilly Elegy, Vance leaned into his own personal story to bolster his message.
When I was a senior in high school, that same Joe Biden supported the disastrous invasion of Iraq, and at each step of the way, in small towns like mine in Ohio or next door in Pennsylvania or Michigan, in states all across our country, jobs were sent overseas and our children were sent to war. And
in an emotional moment, Vance acknowledged his mother in the crowd and celebrated her 10 years of sobriety after decades of struggling with drug addiction.
Our movement is about single moms like mine, who struggled with money and addiction, but never gave up. And I'm proud to say that tonight my mom is here, 10 years clean and sober. I love you, Mom.
He kept the focus on the battleground states that could determine the outcome of the election and vowed that a Trump-Vance administration would deliver for working-class communities.
To the people of Middletown, Ohio, and all the forgotten communities in Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Ohio, and every corner of our nation, I promise you this: I will be a vice president who never forgets where he came from.
In 2016, Vance had described himself as a never-Trumper and had labeled the tycoon as a moral disaster and even compared him to Adolf Hitler. But he reinvented himself when he entered politics and won Trump's endorsement in the 2022 Ohio Senate race. Since then, Vance has been an ardent supporter of Trump's anti-immigration rhetoric and America First foreign policy. But Vance remains something of an unknown quantity in the wider public. So when he was named Trump's VP pick, many wondered what he brings to the table. It's clear now that Vance has sold himself as the working-class battleground state running mate who can empathize with those voters and push Trump's message in the communities he knows so very well.